Hey, good morning, everyone. Edna Keep here for Mindset Monday. How was your weekend? Let me know. Today, we're going to talk about procrastination, why it's keeping you from earning what you should be earning. So, if you like the topic and you know someone who's a bit of a procrastinator, maybe you want to share this with them and get them on here live to see if we can get them pointed in the right direction. Good morning, Charmaine. How are you? Nice to see you on here today. How was your weekend? Good morning, Jason. How are you? Hey, Jason, thank you so much for the book. I just got it opened yesterday. I read a couple pages. Looks really good. Tyler and Bailey were over in the morning, so they passed that on to me. So thank you very much. And I noticed you got out to the Preg event on Wednesday too. Sorry I didn't get to meet you. I was gone to Alberta. The kids were off school, so we decided to just hop in the vehicle and go for a drive and see how far we got. So we had a pretty good time. But yeah, we're going to connect. I noticed you got a ticket for the event, so for sure I'll see you there. Charmaine says the weekend was great. She was at the Epic Alliance event and it was fabulous. That's awesome. I heard really good things about it. Those ladies up there are awesome. They know how to put on a good show. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Juanita. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Jake. So awesome. Well, this is great. So everybody's set to get some mindset training this morning. So that's awesome. I've got a quote here that I always like to start out with. Benjamin Franklin. It says, "You may delay, but time will not." So keep that in mind when you think about how much that you need to get done in a day. You want to make sure that you're moving as quick as you possibly can, because yeah, you'll get left in the dust if you don't. There's a lot of movers and shakers out there, and they're getting the buildings. We got 2 more under contract yesterday. Yeah, we still work on the weekends a bit, so it's awesome. Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Bev. Good morning, Bob. This is great. Good morning, Harry. Great to see all you guys on here. So, with procrastination, you know what? We all do it. Doesn't matter how successful we are. There are especially certain things that we like to procrastinate on. Things that maybe aren't our strengths. Things that are not our favorite things to do. I know I procrastinate a lot on housework. I remember when my housekeepers come once a week, and I have dogs and I have kids, and she says to me one day, "You know what, and if you just swept your floor once a day, it wouldn't look near as dirty in here." And I just kind of laugh because it's so true. But you know what, we do tend to procrastinate on stuff that we don't like to do. We let it go and we let it go, and then we wonder why. You know, something so simple takes me like 2 minutes to sweep our floor, because it's generally just the kitchen, and yet I tend to leave it go all the time. And when we do that, you know, if it's small things like that don't really matter, it's no big deal. But when we procrastinate on our goals and stuff that we really want to accomplish, the price of that can be pretty high. You know, we call it self-sabotage. We know it needs to get done, and yet we're not doing it. So why is that? Why do we do that? Your income suffers, your self-esteem plummets because you're not doing what you say you're going to do. My definition of integrity, and I think the most important part of integrity that we have to deal with, is the integrity with ourselves. And if we tell ourselves that we're going to get something done and we don't get it done, then that's like lying to yourselves. And that's just as important as lying to someone else, because pretty soon your psyche up here goes, I don't believe them, and I'm just not going to work that hard. So you have to make it a habit to do something that you want to get done over and over again. And if you don't get it done Monday, put it back on the list Tuesday. If you don't get it done Tuesday, put it back on the list Wednesday. Sometimes it's harder to keep writing it on the list than it is to actually get it done. That phone call that we're avoiding, that might be our next investor, that networking event we should be out to see, out to take part in instead of watching TV, our favorite show that night. You know, those are all procrastination habits that we fall into. And when you don't listen to yourself or listen to your own promises and don't live with integrity that way, your confidence decreases all the time. And the only way to build it back up is to start doing what you say you're going to do. Oh, how is everyone else? Can everybody else hear me? I just got someone say they couldn't hear me. Can you let me know? Maybe check the sound on your phone, because I just pushed mine and it did say that I was all the way at the maximum volume. So let me know. Charmaine, you can hear me? Okay, perfect. Okay, well, I'll keep going. Audrey, double check the sound on your phone. Sometimes we have it off. Harry says clear too. Okay, perfect. So the end result when we procrastinate all the time is we get frustrated. We get burnt out, because it seems like we're working harder than we are, because we keep writing that same thing down every day if you're writing it down, or you're maybe not writing it down, but it feels like, oh, there's all this stuff I have to do. So then you experience burnout, you experience resentment of your clients, your business, even the investors that you've promised to call. You're feeling that resentment, because it's like, oh, they're probably not going to invest with me anyway. Why would I call? They're just going to waste my time. You know what? That's this little voice talking up there to you. I had to laugh this weekend. My daughter was working on a speech call, and it was, why does optimism affect the world? Or how does optimism affect the world? Or something like that. And so I heard the speech 2 or 3 times this weekend, because she was trying to make sure that it was long enough to be presented. And this morning she said to her older sister, she says, can I read you my speech this weekend? And she says, sure. So she sits there and she listens, and she says to Danny when she's done, she says, did Mom help you with that? And Danny said, no, I did it all myself. And I said, hey, it's because she lives in the same household. She's used to hearing that stuff. One of the things that she was saying is, optimism outweighs pessimism. You know, life is just more fun if you're optimistic. If you're always pessimistic, you're always looking for the worst thing that could happen in your life. And where does that help you? Why not start looking for what could go right instead of what could go wrong? Or if something didn't work perfectly, give yourself credit for what did go right as opposed to what went wrong. So maybe your investor didn't invest with you, but you know what went right? You made the call, and now you actually know. Instead of beating yourself up here saying, oh, I should call that guy, You know, it takes more time to think about that 24/7 than it does to actually pick up that phone and do it. And the longer you procrastinate about it and think about all the things that could go wrong, the worse you feel. Just pick it up and know for sure. If it's a no, it's a no. And just maybe every once in a while you're going to get a yes. The worst thing you can do is just not make that call. And if you get into that downward spiral of procrastination, thinking you can't as opposed to thinking you can, actually that was another point I was going to make on Danny's speech. She ends it with, and remember, if you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And I think that was what Desiree was saying to Danny, where she thought that I'd written it or helped her write it. And I said, no. I said, but she hears that. How many times does she hear that? Every day, probably every day, or probably every time she says she can't. Or another thing that she said, which I thought was so cool, because it just shows that they actually do listen to you. Danny's tended sometimes to focus on, something that's not going right with a friend. They maybe didn't call her, or they ditched her. And she actually talked about that in her speech. She says, and she'd cry. She cried for like 3 hours, and then the next day just find out, it was something simple, like her parents made her go do something different, or her parents were visiting with that girl's family, and all kinds of things that could be simple. So on her speech, she actually said, and sometimes when you're pessimistic about, what your friend said to you or did to you, if you would just let that go and the next day talk to them, it's so much better than just wallowing in that. And I've had that conversation with her several times. And when she can regurgitate it in a speech, it's effective. So say it to yourself, say it to your kids, say it to your spouse, because every time you say it to someone else, you're saying it to yourself too. So think about that. And same with the other way around. If we're saying, I can't, then guess what? You can't. And the more you think like that, the more you talk like that, the less you get done. Jill says here, yes, chatting with my 17-year-old son last night about focusing on solutions as opposed to problems. Total different approach. Exactly. If we can start focusing on solutions or just what could be right about something as opposed to everything that could be wrong about something. One of the things that a coach that I worked with for a while used to say to me when I would say, oh, why is this happening to me? He would say, I want you to change that around and say, why is this happening for me? What do I need to learn? So if you're getting no's from your investors, why is this happening for me? What do I need to learn? That's the first thing you should be asking yourself. And when you give your brain a mission like that to accomplish, it'll start pointing things out to you. Oh, maybe you use some negative language in there. I shared with some of my masterminders the other day, and I've said it a few times, so I was just saying it for reinforcement. When you say things like, to tell the truth, or to be honest, or honestly, those are flag words for people not to trust you. So skip those words from your vocabulary. I know it's just a point you're trying to make, but in that article, it was pointing out things like that people say, oh, well, if they're just being honest with me now, what did they tell me just before that? So watch your language, and that really makes a difference for you too. Some of the things you could be procrastinating on is, did you get that ticket for the end of March? If you buy it by tomorrow, your $100 ticket, you get the $100 back at the door. Or do you want to wait till March 1st and pay the $100 and not get it back at the door? Don't procrastinate. It helps us plan better, and it'll help you plan better. Get your hotel booked, get out here, and be with a bunch of like-minded people who are focusing on the positive, who are optimistic, and who are always moving forward. It's so important. Or maybe you were going to send that proposal to a new investor and you didn't get around to it yet. If you talked to somebody 24 hours ago and you said, I'm going to send you that proposal, and the 24 hours is up, guess what? You just made yourself a liar. You're not living in integrity. Get it done. And if there was some reason why you didn't, my kid was sick, or I was at the hospital all last night, because that's the only excuse. Other than that, you're probably on Facebook. Send the proposal. Get it done. Okay, what else? No, Lawrence, actually the one, I think I just shared it with my masterminders. I didn't share it with the 90-day to 5K students. It was something that we talked about at the last mastermind meeting was, the language that you say. I took sales training early on because I wasn't a salesperson. I was an administration person. I didn't know how to sell. And I took training, and some of the things that they pointed out about language was, don't say buy, say own. Don't say sign on the contract, because that always scares people, but John Henry, or, just put your initials here or something like that. It takes the pressure off people. Don't walk into a meeting with a great big briefcase. It scares people off. Just bring in a folder, so different little things like that. Another one was, and this is a Tom Hopkins special for anybody who knows him, I never see failure as failure, but only as a learning experience. So if you go and call an investor and you don't get good feedback from them, or you don't get the investor, think about what you could have maybe did better. Maybe the presentation needs to be better. Maybe it needs to be clearer. Maybe you're taking too much of the deal. It's nice too if we can, but if people aren't responding to you, maybe you need to change something. So think, what do I need to learn from this? What am I not articulating that the investor's not getting it? Because other people are getting investors every day. So just know that and sometimes it is a learning curve. Sometimes it's an integrity thing that you have to first and foremost feel before you feel. The other reason too is if you don't feel 100% confident on that deal, you're going to relay that to your investors. So you need to first and foremost feel 100% confident. You've got to be saying, you know what? if I can't get an investor, I'm cashing out my RSP, I'm selling my car, I'm putting a second mortgage on my own home. Those are the things you got to be saying to yourself, I'm getting this deal done no matter what. And that is when investors start to come to you. Does that make sense? Okay. So one of the things that you maybe want to think about is missed opportunities can often be blamed on simple procrastination, one of the most destructive habits we suffer from. Another quote that I really like by Karen Lamas is, a year from now, you may wish you'd started today. So when you go to click that buy button and you don't finish for whatever reason, the phone rang or you thought twice about it, think about that opportunity is right here. Is that an opportunity you should be taking? And it's something as you get busier and busier, it's still something you have to think about. Networking is the best way to raise money. I sent my two protégés out to Saskatoon this last weekend to the event. They met a potential investor with $100,000 and have a lot of people interested in my 90-day to 5K program. So, you get out there and you network and things are going to happen for you. What else do we got here? Procrastination is what keeps us up working late at night to make deadlines. It costs us money in late fees. You don't pay that bill in time, you got a late fee. And it even costs us business. It costs us a lot of business. So first and foremost, as I said, if you can, if you've got a potential and you tell someone, I'm calling you tomorrow, you better call them tomorrow. And even if you don't have time to talk, you should call them and say, I'm running late, this happened, whatever. I'm just letting you know that I wasn't able to get the information I wanted to gather for you today, so watch for it tomorrow. Something that says, not that you don't have integrity, but that something comes up. So watch that, be very, very careful. And Bev says, another thing is, I wish I had or glad I did. So keep that in mind too. Lots of times when you've got that opportunity right under your nose and you see other people moving ahead and you're not moving ahead, you ask yourself that question. Did I get the same opportunity they had? Probably, but they acted on it. It's not easy to get up, leave the city, leave your home, go to another city, stay in a hotel. One of the guys even got food poisoning one night. Isn't that terrible? So he missed part of the morning. But you know what? He still, as soon as he could possibly get there, he got there and then did whatever he could. So Lauren says, not sure why this morning we were already at the site before 10, but we still couldn't see this live webinar until much later. I started right at 10 according to mine, so I'm not really sure, Lawrence, what happened there, but it's maybe your connection. Sometimes connections aren't that great. I know sometimes when I'm watching a live, it kind of cuts in and out, and I think it's my connection as opposed to anything. So here's some solutions for you. So if you're prone to procrastination, here's some techniques I want you to work on to see if you can stop it. Recognize your fear. What often keeps us stuck is just fear. And what is fear? The acronym, false evidence appearing real. It's probably not even real, that fear that you have. They're going to reject me. They're going to yell at me for calling. They're going to hate what I have to offer. Sometimes their no is no, not yet. No, I need more information, or no, I'm not ready yet. Stay in touch with me for the next year and then I'll know that you're really serious, right? So we're afraid that even with that amazing coach, we still won't reach our goals, so we put off applying. That's what a coach actually helps you do, is get past that fear, get past that procrastination habit. How many of my students on here hear me ask for homework again and again and again? How many of my students on here is still waiting to send it to me? I've even heard it's done and they haven't sent it to me. I don't get it. I don't understand why that happens. That's procrastination. Get it done with. Don't be scared that it's not going to be perfect. I see a lot of homework that's not perfect. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help you get it perfect. So if you don't utilize that, that's not my fault. You guys have to step up and do what you need to do. Another one is we're afraid we'll look bad when compared to others. That could be other proposals, could be other people doing Facebook Lives. So we just don't do it. We think, I'm not ready yet. But that's another procrastinating habit. Perfectionism is a procrastination habit because you know what? Nothing's ever perfect where it couldn't be better, And if you can get even 80%, even 50%, even 5% is better than nothing. If you only get question 1 out of 10 questions on your homework, send that to me. At least it's a start. We can have some dialogue and tell me you're stuck. Tell me what you're stuck on and I can help you. You know what? I work on mindset every day for myself and I share it with my students. I think mindset is huge. And procrastination's a mindset and it's something that you can change. It may have been a habit now for 40 years. You can still change it. I see people change all the time. If you want to be successful in business, you must learn to recognize your fears, face your fears, and then do the work anyway. Has anybody ever read the book, Face Your Fear, but Do It Anyway? That was a powerful book for me. We do put off a lot of things because we're scared, and then we realize after that, what's that fear? Do you really care? Does it matter what other people think of you? No, it really only matters what you think of you. And you can change your mind any day, anytime. Visualize the life and business you desire. Imagine what it'll be like to have that amazing business that you're always dreaming about. Make sure you take some time every single day to visualize or imagine that business that you want to have, because that's so important. I was reading something just recently I was just reading this. Cheng says, I think my problem's trying to make everything perfect. Also, if I feel I'm late, I just don't feel happy to proceed anymore. Another thing is if there is uncertainty or not sure or unable to see the big picture, then I tend to procrastinate. You know what, Cheng? So many people, it's the same thing. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Have you ever heard of the 80-20 rule? 80% of your results will come from 20% of your work. So even if you get 20% done, you're going to be further ahead than not getting it done. And it doesn't need to be perfect. If you're good and you did as good as you could right now, and someone judges you on that, then you know what? They may not be the client for you. You need to look for somebody who appreciates you. Appreciation goes a long, long way. One of the things I was starting to say is I read an article just recently, and it said, if you can spend 16 seconds a day in really strong visualization and feeling what you want to accomplish, like really feeling what you're going to feel like when you have that end goal, that's like working 100 hours towards your goal. If you can do that for 32 seconds a day, that's like working 1,000 hours towards your goal. Who can't sit there and visualize and really feel something great for 16 to 32 seconds a day? I used to think I couldn't, and now I make it a practice every single day. Make a difference. It'll make a difference in your life. Just watch. Okay, so picture your ideal workday. That's another one. It might be, as you're having your morning coffee, instead of reading that negative newspaper, maybe picture what your ideal day could be like today. You reach out to 2 investors. They both decide to invest with you, and they refer you to 2 of their family members who have money because they just sold a farm. Hey, wouldn't that be great? Daydream about that fabulous vacation you want to take. When it's cold and snowy outside and you go, I want to go to Mexico. Dream about sitting on the beach with a pina colada or a cerveza, whatever is good for you. Really think about that. It's so much better than listening to the news, putting the news on in the morning. Oh my gosh, what a waste of brain space listening to that crap every day. Or imagine a VIP day with your ideal client and how much fun that would be. Describe your ideal client, and you know what? You get to pick. Is that person a lot of fun? Are they somebody you'd love to just hang out with? I love that about my clients. So many of them, I just like to hang out with. People say, geez, you put on more parties than anyone I know. You know what? It's because I like parties. I like to have parties where I'm hanging out with like-minded people. It's a blast. Absolutely love that part of my life. We have good neighbors who we play cards with, twice a week usually. and it's a blast. We have so much fun. We laugh and we snack and we have a drink and it's just a blast. And gosh, one night this week we're up till 2. Last night we're up till 12. But you know what? That's just fun stuff. And the more you're feeling that kind of stuff, that fun, when you get into that frame of mind, just stop and think for a second. This is part of my ideal day. And I designed that. I love it. I absolutely love it. Start thinking about that kind of stuff. Reward yourself. It's okay to give yourself a little of an incentive for getting things done. Say, I'm going to have that really nice coffee as soon as I make my phone call. Hey, how's about that one? That's a good one. Take yourself out to lunch, buy yourself a new pair of shoes, take an afternoon off. You can do any of that. One of the things I like to do when I'm feeling like I'm procrastinating or just want to be lazy is get my hair done. When I was down in Edmonton, we went to the West Edmonton Mall and we were in the water park all day. And so, of course, your hair's all over the place. We'd already checked out of the hotel because we were leaving that night to head to Jasper. So I go down and I get my hair done by a hairdresser. And I thought, while my kids are shopping, I'm going, I don't want to shop. I'll just go get my hair done. So it was actually kind of cool. What else do I got here? Oh, good morning, Connie, cousin Connie. How are you? This is my neighbor. Hi, Jane. You're so sweet. Looking good. Love your Mindset Monday. Good morning, Linda. Hey, are you missing your kids, Linda? I am. Chandel says, I'm learning to be more realistic about getting proposals, etc. to people instead of saying tomorrow and then not getting it done, then having certain days where I do different things in my business. And visualization is the best. Yeah, you know what? It really works. And especially if you can feel it right here, how that's going to feel when you're successful and when you're doing that. Amanda says, I agree. The news hurts my brain. I read only the pertinent news that I need and leave the TV out of it. I don't give them permission to get real estate in my brain. How powerful is that? Because that's so true. When you listen to that crap that's on TV, the negativity, the screaming, the politicians at each other, you're renting them real estate space for free. Don't do that. Go listen to Bob Proctor or Tony Robbins or join the Mindset Monday. That works even better. Good morning, Joanne. Good morning, Tyler. And we got Mark on here. I discovered that my why wasn't strong enough. So I recently learned how to go deeper and deeper. So that's my fuel to allow momentum to carry me. You know what? That is so important. If your why isn't strong enough, it's hard to get moving every day. I have a very strong why. I have a lifestyle that I love. And I just want to expand on that every single day. And I focus on that. I focus on things that we haven't been able to do yet, that I want to do. So I don't focus on it as, oh my God, I haven't done that yet. I focus on it as in, this is something I haven't done yet and I want to do. One of the things that goes on my list is I want to be able to just last minute say, hey, I'm going to book a flight to Paris and take my family and just go to Paris for a week, weekend, however. I don't even know how far it is, see? So I haven't delved deep enough into it to know that I want to go. We haven't done it. We have hopped on a plane and went to New York shopping, something I want to do more frequently. I love shopping in New York. It's such a cool concept. So whenever it's something, just think of something you really like. My husband wants to buy a new boat. So he thinks about that every day. And you watch, it won't take us that long and he'll be having one. Do what's most likely to motivate you to power through your fears and take the next step. And whatever that happens to be for you. If you need to talk positively to yourself, do it. I actually listen every morning as part of my power hour. I listen to a 14-minute video called Manifesting Your Dreams, and it takes you through a whole powerful visualization And then there's a space there for you to plug in your visualization. And you know what? That video makes me feel amazing every day. I love it. Or it's not a video, it's an audio. But find something like that works for you, and just sit there and visualize through it. So another quote I have for you, and this is by Scott Beck: until you value yourself, you will not value your time. Until you value your time, you will not do anything with it. And you know what? Time for all of us is limited. We don't have a million years to get everything done. So start working on some things that are really, really important to you. Just move forward. There's things that you can do. If you get the top 3 things that you want to get done every day, you are so much further than 99% of the population out there. If you write your goal down every day, another exercise that I learned recently, which I find really interesting, and I've been doing it now, I think I'm on day 38, is write a goal of yours with your dominant hand 3 times. Then write again with your non-dominant hand 3 times. That's a little harder. I'm actually starting to be able to read my left-handed writing. I know that if I ever lost my right hand, I could write with my left hand. Isn't that cool to know? And so just write it, and whatever your goal is, write it down. Write it 3 times with your dominant, 3 times with your non-dominant, and then 3 times again with your dominant hand. It just makes you use both sides of your brain, which is so important. And then beware of those things that pop into your brain, those ideas, those opportunities, those things that you should be doing. Maybe all of a sudden you get a reminder in your brain that, oh yeah, I was supposed to call that investor. I talked to him 6 months ago. He said he'd be ready in 6 months. Call him. When somebody's name pops into your brain, call them. Shoot him an email, something. The easiest way is shooting him an email or shooting him a text. But you know what? Calling is so much more effective. So get in the habit of doing that. So does anyone have any questions? I noticed I got a few comments here. So let me just go back and see what I got. Good morning, Jeff. And Jackie says, yes, I love getting up, exercise to your lessons. Perfect. So glad to hear that. Yeah, and you know what? Even the group on here, they're so, my neighbor Jane, she's just awesome. She says, good for you, Mark. You're awesome. Impressive. And Mark says, thanks. You know what? That's the kind of people we want to be around every day of our lives, right? So it's up to you to get those people into your lives. There's lots of opportunity to do so. You just have to decide and get around those people. And you know what? Share what you learned today. If there's something here that spoke to you, go share it with somebody, because everybody needs some positivity in their life. Everybody needs mindset shifts. And that was something else that my daughter said this morning, that it's a mindset thing. She actually said that in her speech. I can't remember the exact wording, but it was something about it's a mindset thing. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, everything I say to them, even though they give me a hard time and they say, oh mom, you told me that already. I don't want to listen to that. I just want to wallow in my own little world and grief and whatever. They're listening. And they're repeating it, which is even more important. So if you listen and something resonates with you, go share it with somebody, because then you get a chance to share it. You'll feel even better about yourself. So that's awesome. Tyler says, what's your favorite Bob Proctor lesson? You know what? My favorite Bob Proctor lesson, and I actually think I have a copy of a CD here, is how do I take what I make in a year and make it my monthly income? I love that CD. It totally makes sense to me. If you've never had a chance to listen to that, go Google Bob Proctor and listen to it. And it's just, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's, what would it be like to take my annual income and make it my monthly income? And you know what? I've done that several times in my life, and I'm still working on doing it again. So let me know how that works for you, because it's my absolute favorite part that Proctor's ever said. Harry says, at my stage now, I need to start the negotiating stage. I've not asked anything other than what you've seen in emails I sent you. Well, you know, the negotiating module you've been through, I believe you just went through it. Make sure you reach out to your partner and do that negotiation. And some of you, I know your partner's reached out to you and you haven't got back to them. Shame, shame. You should do that. Come on. It is part of your class. You need to negotiate with other people to get better at it. We did a whole weekend negotiation class. I never thought I was a very good negotiator, but you know what? I got 3rd place out of the whole group. Oops, there's my calendar falling down. I better just take it down so it doesn't fall some more. So you may be a better negotiator than you think you are. And if you're not, then practice some more. I sent the A side out to the one group and I sent B side out to the other students. And Charmaine says if someone needs a negotiator, she's available. So if you're not getting it from the student I partnered with you, go into the Facebook group and say, hey, I'm looking for a partner. So-and-so didn't get back to me. Make them feel guilty. Then you know what? They could be busy too. That's fine. I do understand because some people lead really, really busy lives. But it is so important. Practice that negotiation. It's actually a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. What else do I got here? Corny says, good morning, Edna. You look great. I needed this morning. Perfect. You know what? We all need this. That's why it's so great that you guys get on here with me Monday. I love it too. I love it just as much as you guys. Amanda Lee says, Bob Proctor video Edna spoke about. Take annual income and make it monthly. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad you put that on here because you know what? I'm going to listen to that again today. I love it. Jeff says, I need to find an area that has better prices than my area. Jeff, welcome to Saskatchewan. Where are you from, Jeff? I think you told me before, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So let me know. But, you know, we've got the cap rates in Saskatchewan. There's deals going on in Saskatchewan. There's some deals coming up in Alberta too, because although cap rates are a little bit higher in Alberta, we're still finding stuff that works. So I've got a student right now working on something in Alberta that has a really good cap rate. Is it going to be a rollover and just collect money for the rest of my life? No, there's going to be some work involved, but he's willing to put out the work. And yeah, Cloverdale, BC, a little bit more pricey there, although I do know that people are having some luck in places like Kelowna, Kamloops, some of the smaller areas, or the island. The island is another great place in BC. Talk to no, I have to think of her name, Courtney Kozak. She's a realtor out on the island. There's some good opportunities out there. And if you're not finding them, also Jeff, reach out to me again because I have a couple opportunities right here in Saskatchewan right now. I've got one right now. I think the cap rate's 8. Is that right, Tyler Hosman? Is that the deal we're working on right now? Is the cap rate 8 on that? Let me know. Charmaine says yes. Okay, perfect. Hey, good morning, Logan. How are you feeling? Logan ended up, do you mind if I say, in the hospital? He was working out too hard. Can you imagine that? How do people work out too hard? I don't think I'm ever that hard on myself. I'm too easy on myself. But I did share your experience with my husband because he's come home from the gym with his arms like in this spot and he can't move them. And I tell him how crazy he is to work that hard, but he does it anyway. Hey, Jackie says, Charmaine, yes, please hook up with me. I'd love to do the negotiation. And if you guys need each other's phone number, text me. I'll get it to you. And because I think it's great. If Logan's bored while he's sitting there in hospital, maybe you can get him to negotiate with you too. I think he's pretty good at it. He's had some practice. And then, you know what? There's always my husband. He's a really good negotiator. And a couple students have asked. Sometimes I don't have enough in the group to pair everybody off, so I pair somebody with him, and they call, and he does a good job with it too. He's a good negotiator, so he's usually the one that I send out for negotiating when it's time to negotiate. So he is good at it. Logan says, I'm feeling better. Thank you. Tell Warren to take it easy. I did. I told him, don't you be doing that. We didn't even think it was anything serious. And now he should probably go get his kidneys checked. I know how many times he's had that happen to him. But anyway, it's kind of funny. Anyway, thank you very, very much for being on Mindset Monday. For those of you that have procrastinated and have not got your tickets, I know that Amanda Chandel posted the link on here. So get your link. I've had a few, or get your tickets. Price goes up Wednesday. or the price goes to a physical price on Wednesday. And for those of you, I've had a few questions about what do I get if I get a VIP ticket? So VIP tickets are $275. Get no money back, but you get meals. So you get lunches every day with the group and the speakers. And we have a VIP dinner Tuesday night where you get to hang with the speakers and the other VIPs. So if you're thinking about it, get the VIP ticket. The meals are worth it. We had an event at the DoubleTree the first year we did it, and the meals were really, really good. So just know that, and it's well worth the price. And again, you get to hang out with the people doing what you want to do. So what better than that? And there's a really great lineup of speakers. If you're not sure of the website to go to, I just wrote it down. http://ednakeep.com/2017 pref. That's where you can get your tickets. That's where you can find out more about the speakers, because we have a great lineup of speakers. And then, of course, my favorite thing about an event like that is getting to network with other like-minded people. You're going to get to meet people who are working on deals right now. New students of mine that haven't even been in the program very long, and they're doing deals. So let's get it done. I look forward to seeing all you guys there. And I look forward to seeing you on Friday. On Friday, I'm going to talk about hard money lenders, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because, when we're out looking for money all the time, we're looking for hard money lenders, and there's a lot of scam artists out there. So I'm going to show you some of the things to watch for. And always get a second opinion, and don't send money. That's one of the biggest things. If people are asking for money up front, not a good sign. So we're going to talk more about that on Friday, though. So I look forward to seeing you all on there Friday, and have a really good rest of the day Monday, and we'll talk to you very soon. Oh, I got a few more things on here. I'll just point them out. Amanda put the 3-day event up for tickets. VIP tickets, VIP tickets, they're selling them right now for $245. They don't get their $99 back, though. The $99 is just for people who just want to show up. They get no meals or anything like that. Mark says, here's a funny one. Years ago, I got a book on how to cure procrastination, and then I procrastinated reading it. That's a good one. And Charmaine says, or not wanting to use a lawyer. That is another big sign of not a good hard money lender. So. And thank you, Lawrence, for coming on. I'm glad you made it too. So thanks, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you Friday. Bye-bye.